Hello, and welcome back to another podcast. This week, we'll be talking about the fear of missing out. New year, new week, and new flu. As you can tell by my voice, I am not feeling well. And last week, we had 20 hits on our podcast and 32 listens overall.
Woohoo!
So we'll take that as a win, and we've changed our theme song because we had a lot of people give us feedback saying that my voice was not good, so we found some royalty-free music. We're actually looking for some local Edmonton artists to help us find some cool beats that we can use as the intro song for us. So if you guys know anyone, please let us know. So this episode is Fear of Missing Out, FOMO. It is one of Ishani's, I should say, favorite words. And so she knows this a lot better than I do because I don't think I have a fear of missing out on anything. I don't really care enough to...
Lucky you, Alina.
Okay, so let's just get into it then, Ishani, since you want to jump into whatever my thoughts are.
Okay.
What is fear of missing out for someone who doesn't have it?
I think it's almost like anxiety that you're missing out on a good or better experience somewhere else. So it's kind of constantly at the back of your brain, if that makes sense.
But then how do you enjoy what you're doing?
You don't.
So you're like, even if you're hanging out with your friends, but then you have so you're just like, oh my God, I could be doing this, this, and this.
Okay, let's backtrack. I think there's moments where I'm so immersed in what I'm doing that it does turn off. I make it sound like it's like horrendous or like, I'm constantly like, it's not that bad. It's like there's moments where I'm enjoying what I'm doing, but then there's definitely times where, I will be sitting in a room full of people, and at the back of my mind, I'm thinking, shit, I have all this stuff to do that I could be doing right now. So, it does.
Is that a difference between, I have stuff to do at home? Is there a difference between that and then the actual, like, fear of missing out on something better? Because I think everybody has an anxiety of, I guess, if there's a lot of stuff to do and you're always like, I need to do this, I need to be on top of stuff. Mm-hmm. Then, like, I have that too, but I wouldn't consider that fear of missing out. I'm just...
Yeah. I think fear of missing out is different because it's more future.
Mm-hmm.
It's more future, and it's bigger. Like, it's larger things. It's not like tasks or small action items. It's like, I didn't move to a different city because whatever, and now I'm in 10 years down the road, I'm gonna regret it. Like, that's fear of missing out. Or I didn't take this new job because I was scared of a change. So now I'm going to regret it 20 years from now.
My fear of missing out definition is, I guess, it's more present.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I defined it as, like, in the moment you had, like, two opportunities. Either go to one thing or the other. But then you have a fear of missing out on the other opportunity. No. So, like, another party, another, like, hangout session, another thing. So I define it more as a present thing rather than a future thing. It's very interesting how you look more towards the future. Because I always imagined FOMO as being like, I could be doing this something in the present rather than in the future, like how it's going to affect my future. I never thought about it like that. Maybe because, like, you're more future orientated.
Yeah, that could be it. I think... It might be a present definition for some people, but for me, it's not at all present. Actually, it's the complete opposite. It's the fact that my actions today are going to affect where and what I do tomorrow, and by tomorrow I mean like 5 years, 10 years, whatever, 20 years, and because of that, I'm always thinking, okay, I can go right or left, but if I go right, it's going to take me here, which means I didn't go left. And if I didn't go left, it didn't take me there. So now I'm like, okay, I can't do both. Right?
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, mine was more present. I thought you were going to take it, like, in a way that it was like, okay, we're going to talk about the present. And I missed out a party and I regretted it because that's what I define FOMO as a party, as like or even an event or just hanging out with people.
No, I don't think I ever really think about stuff like that and go, shit, I should have gone there. I don't really think. Because parties come and go, people come and go.
Yeah. Because, like, for that definition of when I said I don't really feel FOMO, I was defining it as the present. I was like, I don't really care. If I'm having a fun time with you in the present, then that's all I care about.
Yeah.
Right? I don't really think about anything else. Mm-hmm. yeah, and I've never really had like a FOMO thing for the future because I don't think I like meticulously plan as much as you do for the future. Whereas I'm just kind of like, well, I'm just gonna put this out there. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I'm gonna have to scramble and figure it out. Whereas every detail isn't really planned out for me.
Yeah, that's.
So I guess FOMO is more intricate for you.
I don't know how to describe it.
It's just described as an anxiety.
It is an anxiety, but
for future anxiety. I don't know. Yours is a weird definition, I think.
Is it? What is it? What is other people's definition?
Let's
comment below and tell us what FOMO is to you. Because that's
is it
what
future
I thought
or present?
I thought it was that for everybody.
Interesting. I legit thought it was a present. Like, I thought it was a here and now. I have a fear of missing out on blank. And it's a blank slate. And it didn't really occur to me that people thought about it in the future.
I think a lot about the future, though. I don't think I need to work on staying present.
Yeah. For me, it's just like if I'm in the present, if I'm enjoying myself, I don't really think about anything else. There's like a fear that, or like a FOMO, like if I just would have bought a ticket and just did this. Right. Like if I went to a concert or something and I just bought the ticket, I didn't care about like anything else and I just did it because I wanted to do it, then like that's a fear of missing out. But then in my head, I have to be logical. I'm like, okay, whatever, it's fine. They're going to come again. They're still big artists. They're going to do this, this, and this. But like I wouldn't get that moment back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like a present thing, but then it doesn't overpower my decisions. Like it's still like, oh, I should have done it, but it didn't happen, so whatever. I don't care. I've moved on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like that for me, but not really. I would describe it more like a step-by-step process, like literally like a walk. Like if you're walking in this one direction, right? If I continue to walk this way, it's going to take me the actual physical path on the ground is different, right? That's how I think of it in my head. And the FOMO part comes in from like I just took a different path, right? Instead of going right, I went left, and like I wonder what would have happened if I'd actually gone left instead of going right. Like that's where the FOMO comes in from.
That's kind of like Robert Frost.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, if you two roads diverge in Yellowwood, that's the poem we're talking about. Yeah, it's literally pretty much like that poem.
Yeah, that's exactly what the meaning of his poem is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I be English. Sorted.
Hashtag nerd life.
No, it's genuine. Like I guess if you like look at it that way, it's like
called a road less traveled by.
Yeah, road less traveled by.
Yeah.
And he regrets not taking the road less traveled by. Yeah. Right?
I mean, the thing is, there's always going to be a regret, which is kind of sad. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe there's never going to be. It's just how you look at it.
I think, like, that's what makes me so intrigued, I guess, by you and your brain.
My brain is messed up, guys.
It's because, like, because you want to do everything, right? Like literally everything. You set your mind to it and you do it and you do a good job at everything that you do.
Thank you.
Like that's not like the issue that I have. It's just like how many things can a human do? That's where I'm like, what the hell?
Everything. I literally want to do everything. I have the worst habit of changing my hobbies. If you asked me 3 months ago what I was into, it was completely different from what I am into now. And I was like, I literally, even 2017, I've gone through like 10 million hobbies. I started hip-hop classes. I started photography. I had a sketchbook. I sketched probably like 3 times. I read a lot. But those are all like, every few months, it just changes. Part of that has to do with because I get bored of what I'm doing. I'm like, okay, let's try something new now. My brain is tired of doing the same shit. Even though I only tried it a few times, right? Part of it is that. The second part is I'll see something cool I'll see somebody else doing it, or I'll see something posted somewhere, or someone have a great experience trying something new. I'll be like, I want to try that too. And then I'll try it.
Mm-hmm. For me, it's like, that's really cool. And like, really, yeah, it's really cool that you do that. But then for me, it's just like, but when do you have time to relax? When do you have time to do you? When do you have time to figure out like, this is what you actually want to do? And you're not always on the rush. You know what I mean? And like, for that, I feel like it kind of like diverges you from a fear of missing out. Cause I'm just like, well, you're missing out on this, like all these cool things of just relaxing.
Yeah.
And then it's like if you just get like this huge thing of like, I'm going to do this, and then you're like so future oriented. I'm like, what about this present stuff? What about you relaxing? What about like kind of like
me relaxing? It literally doesn't even like hit my brain, which is bad because I get exhausted. And then when I get exhausted, it's really bad because like we just had break right now, a week of break. I literally was so tired that I slept for like hours and hours and hours and hours and didn't do anything, just like vegetated because I was exhausted from whatever. past. So yeah, I do. I know I neglect relaxing, but to me, some of the things that I do that like to other people are like, holy, that takes so much energy. That's my version of relaxation. So, for example, going to the gym. People are like, holy shit, that's so much work. For to me, I find that's my break. That's my break time. Or like, if I'm hanging out with friends or if I'm going out to dinner or out to eat or whatever, people are like, oh, that's so much social interaction. But to me, that's how I like energize again.
This is a really good topic, and we should do me day, a topic about me day next week on our next week podcast. So we're gonna pin up a pin on this one right now and go detail next week. But for right now, I guess like for like fear of missing out,
Yeah.
for me, it's just like that's just an opportunity you could just take in to be like, I'm gonna put myself first. Or it's like there's so many things in this world that people are just like, oh my god, I can do this, and you're like, you're always gonna miss out on it,
It's
right?
true.
And for me personally, I'm just like, I know I'm gonna miss out on it. I'm fine with missing out on it because in the moment, I had so much fun in this experience. Like, there's so many times in my life where people are like, if you just didn't do that one thing and you just did this with me, you could have had such a better time.
Yeah.
Right? For me, I'm just like, I had fun doing that.
Mm-hmm.
First thing, when I follow my instinct, I had fun and I enjoyed myself. It didn't matter that I was with you or without you. I had fun by myself, and that's all that matters to me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, do I have a regret that I didn't do it with you? No, not really.
Yeah. It's true. There's only so much you can do as a person. And there's going to be things that you're gonna miss out on. There's gonna be things that you look back and say, well, whatever, guess I didn't try that, big deal. But to me, it's more like life altering decisions is a good way to put it. Life altering, like career ones,
Where it's fear
where FOMO is really like strong. It's not like leisurely stuff. It's like life changing decisions. Which again, even with how the hell is a person supposed to know what's good for them now? Right?
It's going to be good for 5, 10,
exactly.
10 years.
It's not. Yeah. It's not going to be you evolve. Things evolve. Your situation evolves, and maybe what I tried now doesn't look great now, but maybe in 5 years from now, it's going to be great. So I don't know. It's like you have to adapt your brain to just relax a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, adapt your brain to relax, and more importantly, like that it's okay to relax.
Yeah,
and it's okay to not be so worried about like doing everything that it's asked to do. And from that, I guess it comes up the question: how do you even turn your brain off? How do you stop FOMO?
Well, since I'm personally so trash at this, we looked it up and did some research. And what we found to be common was the slowing down aspect, which a lot of times was meditation. And I'm going to try that this year, 2018. I'm going to try and see
the peaceful Ishani.
Okay, yeah. If there's any differences in my behavior, if I'm like radical all of a sudden, it's because I'm trying to control my brain.
Guru Shani.
If you're like, what's wrong with Ishani today? It's probably because you tried to meditate.
A lot of people are not going to know that, like, because right now you're pretty mellow. Do you know what I mean? You don't.
Yeah,
let people,
I am really mellow. Yeah,
people don't know that when you're angry or like annoyed, or because you try not to like let it on.
Yeah.
So then,
people
even more
tell.
mellow, you're gonna think that you're high. Just going.
Well, yeah, I'm mellow, but like in my head, there's like shit going down.
Yeah, maybe you just need to take weed.
When is it becoming legal? Like in June?
July.
1st? Great.
You go on medication, I'll go on medication.
The podcast are going to have a new spin, guys. We're going to be high the entire time.
It's not going to be chai and chill. It's going to be
marijuana and chill, weed and chill.
Yeah. Sorry, Mom.
But anyways, so meditation. I downloaded this app literally yesterday because I got a new phone.
Okay.
And I downloaded this. I think you sent it to me before. Headspace.
Oh, the one that makes you like relax.
Yeah. So it gives you. You pay for it, but you have like 3 meditation sessions for free or whatever. So I'm going to try it out. I will report back and see if it's successful or if it's not worth it. But I think the hardest part about like the meditation aspect is literally just being still. Mm-hmm. Because you can even, I know everyone's busy, but you can even take the time out of your day and be like, I'm going to spend the next 15, 20, half an hour, whatever minutes to meditate. But it's how do you really focus on just meditating?
Yeah.
That's what I think is going to be really challenging personally. And I can see why it'd be challenging for other people too.
And I have huge, like, a lot of troubles. Just
Yeah.
sitting still. I can't sit still. Or I'm like doing something always. I feel like I
Yeah.
can't keep my mind occupied with one thing.
Yeah.
Like, even if I'm watching TV, I need to kind of just hold on to my phone or just like scroll for the purpose of scrolling. But like, I'm still like, I feel like I'm still attentive. Like, I'm still listening. I know what's happening in the TV show, or I know what's happening in conversation, but it's like for the sake of just like holding on to my phone. And not having a phone for a week made me realize just how addicted I am. Like,
I think it's just
so
our,
bad.
our generation and our society now. It's like we need fast, instant communication and like responses, and we always need to be doing something.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, we get attached to our phone, I think. And because of that, we can't be removed and can't be just mindful and still.
Yeah. Because, like, I found that when I was even on, like, I guess for me, Instagram is like this huge thing. I don't even like Instagram that much. It's just, I'm either like pulling up like the explore button to like
Yeah.
find more things to look at, or I'm on Twitter just scrolling up on people's tweets. And it just doesn't make sense to me, like, why I'm doing it. Because, like, after a while, it just like reruns of the same thing that you've already seen. And then it just doesn't make sense.
I think we are honestly obsessed with getting information.
So it doesn't, yeah, probably. Who knows?
And information fast. Like, we want it like right away. Like, if there's a 30-second delay in my Google search, I'm like, what the hell? Why is it taking long?
Yeah.
But it's not a big deal. It's literally 30 seconds.
Exactly. And I think it's also because information's so easy to achieve now. So if I'm like so totally bored by my phone or like what's on Instagram, like, I'm not gonna say like I don't go on my, like, I go on my phone all the time. It's times when I'm not on my phone, but then I'll just go on YouTube, and then I'll find like a documentary that's like the weirdest topic, but I'll still watch it because I'm like, whoa, this is really cool. Recently I got into like architecture.
Yeah,
like watching
super random.
Yeah, just really random. And then I found like I'm really obsessed with BBC Three right now.
Such an old people thing to say.
No, dead serious. It's like random BBC Three like documentaries, and I'm obsessed about it.
This is when you know you're middle-aged. Your midlife crisis is coming soon, Alina.
I watched it until like 3 a.m. yesterday because I just couldn't stop watching these random documentaries about random topics. And it was just so interesting to me. Yeah. Like, one was on, I sent you one about being homeless while being a woman.
Oh, yes.
That one is a really good topic. You should watch that. I will watch that,
yes.
And then the other one was about, like, the London sex trade, basically. And then that talks about, like, has weird, we're going really off topic. This is nothing to do with
bring it back.
But there's this one documentary thing about how, like, there's like this random like group or niche of people, mainly like lesbian women, who want children, who get free sperm donations in the UK. But then there's like this weird like terminology that they're using, AI versus NI. AI is like artificial insemination, where a man just comes and gives you his sperm and then he leaves, and then
the doctor puts it in.
No,
what?
The women at home
do it themselves.
That's
fucking weird, man.
And it, like,
have you watched Jane the Virgin? That's literally what I'm thinking of right now.
Yeah, but Jane the Virgin had like
an actual doctor do it,
but
which is kind of worse.
This lady, like, she did it to her own partner.
So weird.
With like a turkey baster, basically.
Ugh. Okay, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Yeah, and like, it's just the weirdest topics that you would never think of happening in like in the real world, but they are. And it's like, it just doesn't make sense, but it makes sense. And they're like, just go on BBC Three and watch all the documentaries.
Or you can meditate. Yeah. You choose.
Make your mind work, or
relax it a little bit. I don't know. So meditation is one thing that we
back to the point.
We were researching. I think some people said some cool like acronyms to remember. And one of them, I think I'm gonna try to use these in my daily life when I'm stressing. So one of them was asking WIN questions, and WIN would stand for what's important now, and it's very linked to meditation because it's just being present. I think the whole idea overall is just being present, and so what can we do now instead of focusing on what's going to happen later,
or what you're missing out on.
Or what you're missing out on. So the other one was be where your feet are, which is kind of cool too. So
again, being present and not
Definitely.
stuck where you are right now, but just anchoring yourself in what's around you more than in the future in your head.
Super hard to do.
Yeah. And then when we were doing research, you guys, Ishani was mentioning as well, that it's more linked to social media.
Mm-hmm.
How people like see other people's posts and have a fear of missing out on those, I guess, milestones that other people are facing.
I can so see that. Because you can see a friend that's the same age as you and be like, what the hell? He or she is like, getting married, has kids,
Or
got into grad
not
school.
even that, has bought themselves a new car, like
Yeah.
a really nice car, got to a better university than what we can imagine, like, or just doing a
Yeah.
really cool master's program, moving somewhere cool, or
Or on vacation.
on
even.
vacation. Yeah, it's a very
It's
simple.
it's almost unhealthy because you're comparing yourself constantly to other people all the time.
Yeah, and then that gives you like this. I think we are constantly building our own expectations based
for
on
sure.
other people, right?
Which is terrible because they're not going to put their shitty parts of their day up. No one is going to do that.
Yeah. So, I guess like even now when people think like YouTubers are content creators, it's not really the case because everyone is a content creator.
They curate
right?
their content.
Yeah. And just like we
yeah.
do too, right? Like when we post, we're technically putting content up into the internet.
True.
Right? And we are technically
we think about what we're saying.
Yeah, and we're entertaining with our captions to other people. So technically we are content creators. We have the same effect as normal, people walking down the street.
It's really interesting. There's lots of friends I talk to that are like, oh my god, so and so, and like this, that happened, and it kind of puts them in like a negative headspace.
Yeah, because like I should be doing that.
Yeah,
too.
they're comparing, and it's like tenfolds the anxiety, especially if it's your family members.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, my cousin just got into med school, and here I am, just
Yeah, and here I am just doing this.
Yeah,
just this. When it's like a lot of people in your position
would
be like,
kill to be there.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's all about the perspective, right?
Yeah, we make jokes out of this too much though.
We do this a lot too. Yeah,
we see content and then we're like, oh my god, we should be doing this too. But then we're like, yeah, let's put ourselves back to where we are.
Like people getting married, we have this thing going
of like counting up how many people get engaged
during
and, like married
busy times or like holidays or like Valentine's Day around that peak. Literally everyone and their mom decides to get married during that time or like engaged, and we're
like,
a
recent holiday I had like one friend like from junior high just got engaged, and it's like one that I'm like close to, but like I know a couple people on my Instagram that just recently got either married or engaged during December.
Yeah. So we do like a joke. We track it and we send it to the other person, being
like,
"Oh look, add another one to our list of people that got engaged." And for us, like we just play around with it. We're joking, but the reality is it stems from the comparison of yourself to somebody else, right?
Yeah, because I think it comes from that reality of where you're like, well, I grew up with this person, I know this person, and they're getting married. And then marriage, for me at least, is associated with being much, much older, having like a more mature headspace and like all these other things that come along with it. So for someone your age that you know so well, to be like, I'm already there, and you're like, well, my frontal lobe is still developing. Like, what the hell? Like, how did yours develop so much quicker than mine?
You know what? We don't know, though. Like, we don't know their situation. We don't know if they're actually ready or, like, what circumstances.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I hope they are, right? Because they're taking
but like,
big
just, like, steps that you, like, in your head take. Like, how did you develop more, like, faster than I did? Like, how do you have this all figured out before? Like, you know what I mean? It's, like, kind of like that.
It's totally that.
It's like someone has it figured out, and when I'm struggling to figure out what I'm doing, like, after I graduate. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what? It's super important to remember everybody's path is different.
Yeah.
And someone may be ready in one aspect, but not ready in another. So we're all developing.
Yeah,
it's just at a different pace, different path.
It's like a good reminder as, like, I guess, bringing yourself back or placing yourself or rooting yourself, whatever the quote is.
Yeah, you need to have a good system to do that. It's okay to compare yourself to somebody else. It's almost kind of healthy, I think, because you're like, okay, I need to better. I need to improve. I need to... Yeah,
unless that motivates you. Because some people compare themselves and then bring themselves down, right?
Yeah, that's true. And
make themselves feel worthless. So instead of doing that, it's important that you're like, okay, well, I'm going to do this instead. Like, I'm going to use this as motivation because that's the only healthy way you can do it.
Right. Like, what can I learn from you that I can adopt in my daily life to get where I need to go?
What's your hustle that I can, like, how are you doing it? How can I modify my hustle?
Exactly.
And then just go from there.
It's like a healthy way to...
Yeah, exactly. And then you just move on. But I guess hustle for a lot of people are like, they have, like, a partner.
Then there's
For
us. It's each other.
Yeah, we already won that hustle.
Yeah, fuck you guys.
And then I guess you're gonna be hearing this probably on Wednesday because we're gonna edit tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just know that we didn't post on Friday, and we know we didn't post. It's not like we forgot. We were aware of this. We debated this. We are content creators now, guys.
We're legit, okay?
We are legit.
Ask us for a business card.
Whenever you see us in public, ask us for a business card.
JK, we don't have them. Don't ask us.
Don't even talk to us about this podcast, honestly. In person? Are you kidding?
You don't know us in person.
Yeah, this is like a different person that you know on podcast. So don't talk about the podcast in front of me, please, and thank you.
Okay, I'm okay to talk to about it, but Alina gets so awkward. It's hilarious.
Because I feel like this is a different.
I'm always plugging it to people. I'm like, yo, listen to a podcast.
I plugged it to like 4 people. I'm like, okay.
It's pretty good for you.
Yeah, it's pretty good because I sent them the link and I know that they would enjoy it with me. So I like sent it like
that's so
to
cute.
Like 4 people.
Love
and
it.
That's it. And then after I thought about it, I was like, I'm going to see these people in person.
Yeah.
What am I going to do then?
They're going to know so much more about it. It's going to be so weird.
So I'm like, Kate, just disclaimer now, if you're probably listening to this, please just don't talk to me about the podcast. Whatever the contents are in the podcast, just comment or like DM us. Please don't talk about this in person.
No, what if they want to have a debate with you? What if they want to challenge you?
Send a DM. What the hell?
Do it in person. Maybe they can be our guest.
Or maybe if I bring it up, then that's cool. You don't bring it up because I feel just really awkward because it's just so weird.
Like, what podcast? I don't do a podcast. Who are we talking about?
Because just think about it. Wrap your head.
It is
like,
weird.
Someone knows you while you're doing like very like.
Some of these are personal information.
Yeah.
Like some of this is pretty personal.
Like it's out there, right? So anyone can listen to it at any time while I'm doing something dumb. You know what I mean? Like walking down the street and yelling hello to people.
You know, I wonder how vloggers feel because they put a lot of their life up.
Yeah, exactly.
And people randomly will stop them and they're like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
Right?
And then that person will know everything about them.
Yeah, it's super weird. Like I love vlogs. I watch them all the time. But that idea of like a random knowing your entire life story is pretty weird.
Yeah, even though this is not like no randoms are really listening to this, I still find it weird that like while I'm not actually in the conversation, you're listening to me. But then when we have an in-person conversation, we're just gonna like go back refer back to that one conversation you heard. Like I just find it kind of weird.
We'll get used to it as we do more and more.
For right now, let me just bring it up. Please and thank you. And this week we're probably going to post twice. Last week we weren't very happy with our content that we created. We weren't like we recorded stuff and we liked it, just didn't love it.
Exactly.
And we're not going to post something that we're both not 100% in love with. So this week we thought we would just do 2, and one on Wednesday and one on Friday. And then next week hopefully it'll go back to normal. Who knows? We're pretty up in the air.
So if you ever see a week where we missed a podcast, chances are we did it. We probably did more than one. We just weren't happy with any of them, and we didn't post them. So don't be offended. They're coming.
And keep up with, I think, SoundCloud, like if you're subscribed to us or follow us, you get a notification. And then, like last week we recorded 3. And
didn't post any of them.
3 of them were ready to go and like post up, but we just weren't happy with it.
And a lot of it has to do with because we're really comfortable with each other, so we just ramble, and you'll notice that in the podcast, and we're like, oh wait, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
So then when we go in back to edit, it's like, well, this doesn't make sense with what we're trying to talk about, and then so we have to cut half of it, and then redo it. Yeah,
so we're amateurs, but we will get better with practice.
Yeah, and if you guys know any better tips and tools how to make this better as a podcast, let us know. And what else? Did we get any comments on the first one that we really liked?
We got lots of views, though, which was really exciting.
Yeah, that was really exciting.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, I guess.
See, this is how Lena is so awkward. Like, she's like, what do I say?
Yeah. I love it. We got good comments. I guess we got personal. Like, people like told us personally. Yeah. One of the comments that I even talked to you about was a really good one. I don't know if I should.
Sometimes we get people that will reply to the questions that we ask in the podcast.
Yeah, should I bring it up and see what they say or no?
Yeah, if you want, sure.
Okay, my reading sucks too. This is gonna be awkward as hell.
Yeah, so it's like a continuation of the ego, the one about ego.
The one about ego. And then this person says, their answer would be, the question was, is it the high ego or low ego, or self-esteem rather, that causes high, like a really high ego? And this person responded back, my answer would be a very low self-esteem, because you're fishing out self-worth from your external environment. So you want to be seen as someone important and special to that person. So if you have a high self-esteem and it's authentic and not fake, then you would not care how or when you got invited. You're just happy being celebrated. So I think that was like a very cool analysis of it. And then they wrote, ego is living life in fear, not love.
I love that.
So they equated ego with the aspect of being fearful. Fearful of not being accepted, fearful of not being invited, not being...
It kind of is that, though. I get that.
And then so you overdo yourself when you're in person to make yourself worthy of being invited. Yeah. So you keep being invited. I think that's what they're trying to get at.
We just all want to, at the end of the day, belong to something or someone. I think, like collectively.
Yeah.
So that's probably where it comes from.
Yeah, exactly.
So this was the link to our last podcast. If you haven't listened to it,
please do.
Yeah, give it a listen and let us know what you think. We love that we got an extension of it through a text. It was super sweet.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it. I got so excited. I sent it off to Shani, and then we both talked about it, and we're like, well, this actually does make sense.
So if you have any other continuations of this podcast or the old one, shoot it to either of us.
And then if not, if that's the end of this podcast, then we'll see you on Friday.
Have a good rest of the week, people.
Enjoy the cold. It's snowing outside right now. Hopefully it's not doing that again. Okay, bye. This is weird. See you next week.